Hi, my name is Chelsea Penne. I'm with Institute. Today I'm going to go over some ground rules and some kind of base laying structure for co-parenting. I think it's really important that after a separation, or even if you've been separated for some time and maybe things are not working, that we revisit the ground rules of co-parenting. Some of the rules include putting your child first, which to some you'd say, well, that's a no-brainer. But sometimes it does take a little more effort to put aside our emotion in those times. Another rule that we'll go over is communication. Communication. I'll probably say it multiple times throughout the video, but it is one of the key factors in making any co-parenting relationship a successful one. Other rules include respect, honesty, openness, being okay asking the other parent for help, and learning from one another. You're going to be parenting possibly separately for the first time ever, and your kiddo may exhibit things at one house they don't at the other. So allowing the communication piece to foster sharing of stories, sharing of, oh, well, is Sarah doing this at your house too? They've been giving me a really bad attitude, or they've been wetting the bed really often, or have had trouble eating. Have they been doing it at your place? No? Well, what are you doing over at your house that is making that more successful, right? And vice versa. So again, it all comes back to communication, right? So let's say you're gearing up for a family event that you guys have always attended together, such as a birthday party, right? You may be tempted to say, let's split that birthday party. I don't want to deal with the other person. We just separated months ago, or we separated years ago. I don't want to deal with that person, right? But what is in the best interest of your kiddo, right? If you are able to communicate effectively, make a plan, make a party together so it's a joint effort, show up for your kiddo at the same time, that may be in their best interest. If you guys can't stand each other in a room and you know there's going to be an argument, it may be in the best interest for you to have those separate parties, right? But putting those emotions aside when possible and co-parenting effectively together at functions where you may have to be with one another, like a recital that can't be rescheduled or doesn't have multiple nights that you can't go separately, and you're going to have to see each other. Should your kiddo have to be made to look on one side of the auditorium versus the other to make sure you see which parent is where? Or can you sit side by side and enjoy a concert or a performance together of your kiddos, right? That communication piece beforehand is going to be a key factor in, hey, I would like to sit in this area. What about you? Would it be okay if we sat together and watched our kiddos' performance? Whether that includes their significant others or what boundaries you set in regards to that, right, would be your guys' discussion. But the communication of what is this going to look like so I can prepare and be the best parent I can be in this situation for them. Another thing that I went over in the beginning is respect, honesty, and openness. And I'll go over each of these individually. So respect, right? When we are away from the other parent and have our kiddos, things can come up that irk our nerves. Like, oh, well, daddy does this at his house. Well, I'm not a dad, and dad this and dad that, or vice versa, right? It can be easy to start talking negatively about your ex-partner because you have hard feelings towards them. Your kiddo may not, right? If you haven't shared specific reasoning, which may not be age appropriate, of why you split up, that kiddo just knows that that's their parent, and they may have respect and love for them even when you don't, right? So that respect comes into play in that instance, in that you don't bad talk or bad mouth your kiddo's other parent. Respect can also come into play in regards to parenting time. I have an event plan that I do every year with my kiddo, and they want to go with me again this year, but it's on your time. May I have them? Is an example of a conversation that you could have with your ex-spouse, with the other parent, and say, you know, would this work out? And asking them in enough advance notice that they haven't already made plans and now there's conflict and they're put in the middle of a situation. The next key point I wanted to talk about is honesty. So being honest with your ex-significant other, your ex-partner, and allowing them to know what's going on at your house when it's appropriate. right? So do they need to know every in and out and every detail? Possibly not. But cluing them in on these are the routines that we use that are working. You know, something happened at our house. Our kiddo got nicked by the dog. Our kiddo witnessed me having an argument with my new significant other, and it may, you know, they may have overheard some things. Talking and having that communication, again, I'll mention the word, in the background can be a key component in that. And letting the other parent know, like, this is how I support my kiddo when they come back. You know, they may need a little extra nurturance and love during this time as they comprehend what all has gone on, and both parents be included into that so they can look for behaviors, which is often how kiddos communicate, and being able to be on the same page with how you communicate a story or a narrative to them. And I guess that coincides a lot with the openness, right? Is if something happens, letting the other parent know, right? Though that is both of your kids, and it's really important that you discuss everything in an open way so that you best know how to support each other and support your child when they're at the various homes. That leads into asking for help. If your parenting time includes your weekly pickup from school and you have to work late for a special project, or you have time that's blocked off that you can't get off work to go to the normal dance class and take them, are you in a place regarding communication, respect, honesty, openness, all of these previous things that you've exhibited with the other parent, that you're able to ask for that help? Hey, can you pick up our kiddo today because I can't make it? Can you take them to dance because I'm stuck at work? I got a flat tire, what have you. Can you lean on one another in the co-parenting relationship? Leaning doesn't mean that you're weaker or you couldn't handle it or anything of the negative nature. It just shows your kiddo effective communication, and it shows them that even though things didn't work out in that relationship, you guys are still going to work together and be a united front in parenting and be there for them no matter what. I think that concludes my video for this time. I would love to provide more information, but I think the ground rules are a great place to start. So remembering communication, having respect, honesty, and openness with that partner, ex-partner, not being afraid to ask for help, and being able to lean on one another. But the overarching right underneath communication, the overarching rule would be your child comes first.